Live yet? Going live? Ah, okay, we're live.
Woohoo!
Woohoo, we're live. Welcome to the very first reading stream for the Nostalgia Train Book Club. I am Violet, your host. My channel is Writing Violet. I do writing vlogs, experiments, craft book reviews, all that stuff. And now we've started this book club, the Nostalgia Train, where we're rereading popular mega hits, YA and middle grade from the past, some discovering ones we missed, and reliving some of our favorites and analyzing them as authors. So I'm joined by Crystal and Marta today. I will let them introduce themselves. Crystal?
Hi. Hi, I'm Crystal. My channel is Crystal's Cluster. It's a cluster of content. I make writing videos, gameplay videos, and D&D storytime videos because I am crazy. And yeah, that's me.
Marta?
And my name is Marta. You can find me on the Marta Can Pixel on most places. And I have a hybrid channel. I make authorship content and art content.
Okay, hold on. Who do we have in the chat? Matilda is here. Hello. And Anya is here. Woohoo.
See, you make it, they will come.
So what was I going to say? So for the book club this month, our very first month, we are reading Eragon. And I have never read it. So this is a new one for me that I missed out on in childhood. So I'm a little bit intimidated to hop into this. But Marta, you said you've read it before?
Yes, I read it when I was, I think, 13 or 14 for the first book. So I'm excited to be rereading it again.
And Crystal, you've attempted to read it? Or...
I've attempted. I don't remember how far I got because I remember going to the point where I'm like, I'm overwhelmed.
Oh, okay. So here's like what I'm thinking about the Nostalgia Train and rereading these books. Like I really want to go at it at sort of like a literary standpoint because I've heard some kind of divisive things about this book, saying that it's kind of like a Tolkien knockoff and all these things. So actually for the first sprint, I just want to be sort of writing down my preconceived notions of what this is and what I know about it and what I think I'm going to get out of it. And also be thinking about some of those literary things like genre, because I know everybody says like, this is like the high fantasy of this era, you know, and the dragons, how are the dragon archetypes shown and those type of things. And I've heard like it has purple prose. I really want to be thinking about those sort of literary elements that we can discuss while reading. So are you guys going to be taking notes while you're reading it? Or do you have any like plans like that going forward? Or are you just winging it and taking it as it comes?
Taking notes sounds like a good idea. I might want to bring down my notebook thingamajibber.
And I was planning on paying more attention, but then I just started reading it and got really into it and forgot. So I'm just winging it.
Oh, so you've already started. I haven't started yet.
Yeah.
Because I think for the people who've already read it, it might be kind of cool to think about, yeah, what you remember about it, what you liked and didn't like. Like, I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping that this book club experiment is going to go well. I don't think of myself as like a really organized or planned person, so I'm glad that I have some people along for the ride with me.
I'm excited. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Anya says, haven't read it, didn't watch the movie, so I'm excited. Yay. I also haven't watched the movie. I'm not sure. I've heard some things about the movie as well.
Yeah, I watched the movie. I have opinions on it, and not all of them are negative, but...
Okay, so you'll have kind of a mix. You've read part of the book and you've seen the movie, so I like this. So we have sort of a mixed group going in. Anna is here, hello. As well as Miss Katie Ann, who I saw also posted about it on Instagram, that she had been an Eragon fan.
Yeah.
I have some note cards ready, but I don't have a plan. We'll see what comes and is worthy to write down. Yeah, I wasn't planning to highlight this because I think I'm going to donate this when I'm done reading it. So I'm not going to destroy the book.
Nice.
Oh, but Katie's got her highlighter out.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to donate my copy when I'm done. Well, maybe if I love it, I'll keep it. We'll see. I
No.
started reading the book years ago, didn't get very far, watched the movie, and there were two innuendos I quoted with one of my friends for a long time. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I'm not sure what that's going to be. I've seen some like memes about the movie, like of the CGI dragons looking kind of weird. That's about all I've seen. So, should we just hop into the first sprint?
I'm game.
Yeah, sounds good.
Copy. Comment just posted. Remember the bad boy villain nemesis being interesting for my 14-year-old self. Ooh, sort of Kovu from The Lion King too vibes. I
Ooh.
loved The Lion King too.
That was like one of my absolute favorite Disney movies, like of all time, and I still rewatch it constantly. Like, you know,
I
rewatch
I
everything.
still get the one song in my head, Deception.
Yes, yes,
So catchy. Very catchy. Okay, let's get the timer up. Okay, so we're obviously using Marta's Dino timer.
yes.
I have both Crystal and Marta's channels linked down below if you are not subscribed to them. What are you waiting for? Because, I mean, we're awesome, obviously. So, first sprint. Let's do it. 10 minutes. Go. There they go.
Bye, dinos.
Woohoo! First sprint. Yeah. Whew. Did you see my screen blacked out for a minute there?
Yeah, I saw that at the
Yeah,
corner of my eye.
so
I'm
you
like,
panic.
Yeah, well, there was also like this big thunder here because it's like a storm going on right now, and I was like, okay, what if the power goes out and you guys are just stuck on stream alone? I had a panic moment for a second. So I just wrote down my thoughts going into it, and then I have continued with the prologue, and I have 2 first impression thoughts written down, but that's where I'm at right now. This is a pretty big book. I think I'm going to pick up the audio book.
Fair enough.
I mean, we want to do the live discussion May 27th, and I don't know if I can finish it by then if I don't pick up the audio version.
Yeah. I'm going to try to read a little bit every day, and we'll see how long I last.
Yeah.
I spent that sprint actually taking notes on the first 200 pages because I want to do this properly.
Nice.
And I don't have any notes yet.
Nice.
I'm really curious about the people who've read it before. How these go, like the nostalgia factor. That's really what I am interested in. How much it sways your opinion, even as an adult and as a writer.
Yeah.
How much power does nostalgia hold? So I know that's going to be an issue for me, like when we get to something like Twilight, which I know is very problematic. But my nostalgia for it is so strong.
I'm here for that. I'm here for that too.
Okay, that just went in my eye. Where did I leave off in the comments? Matilda is also a fan of Lion King too.
Yes. Love it.
Hello, I'm surprisingly online right now. I have no idea what time it is for you right now, Miguel. Gosh, that timer gets me every time. I know. When they're moving, I just can't help but watch them.
So cute. I bow to your dragon timer greatness.
Thank you.
I read 2 pages and decided I need more highlighters because many thoughts. Oh, I'm very curious of Katie's thoughts on this.
Oh, definitely.
I know she's the high fantasy queen of
I am so looking forward to all of Katie's opinions.
Oh yeah. All the brains must be picked. I'm so curious.
It's like 2 a.m. but can't sleep for some reason. Oh my god.
Wow.
Go to bed at 2 a.m. I cannot enable the no sleeping. Sometimes I do, but today I'm gonna get some sleep. It's healthy.
Sleep is good.
So I was telling Crystal and Marta before we went live that I was under the impression that this was middle grade, and I think it was actually shelved as YA, which is something now I wrote in my notes to form my own opinion on well reading, because I know those category boundaries have kind of shifted over time. So something I'm curious about. Actually, what categories and genres do you guys write? I didn't even ask that.
I write mostly I want to say mid-grade because it's like my character, one of my book characters is 16, but she's been 16 for about 800 years, so she's not really 16. Like she doesn't act like, YA characters, so I can't say it's YA. And
actually you can. That's a loophole in YA, is to have them be like, yes. Yeah, that's it. It's a YA loophole, one that I like.
I write question mark. I write a lot of vampires, so it kind of changes where I categorize.
Okay, yep. And Marta,
and I write mostly fantasy, I guess.
Okay.
I don't write a lot of different books. I mostly just have one book, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And is it more of like a higher fantasy or more of like a contemporary fantasy?
I honestly don't know. I'm not even entirely sure if it's fantasy or sci-fi because it's sort of a mixture.
Okay, yeah, I have
some
books that sort of straddle that space between sci-fi and fantasy. I know that space well.
Forgot to say fantasy. There's fantasy, mostly fantasy. I mean, vampires, duh, but yeah.
Yeah, I consider vampires fantasy. I consider paranormal, supernatural under the fantasy umbrella, but it can also fall a little sci-fi because vampires, is like a virus.
Yeah, it's like, where are we throwing them this week?
Yeah, they kind of also straddle that sci-fi fantasy line.
Mhm.
Already, I definitely see how I've been influenced with my villains from just the first couple pages of
Ooh.
the shade and the prologue. Like, wow, can't believe I'm having this moment of self-discovery. uh,
That's awesome.
uh,
Honestly, I love the Shade characters so much. I'm looking forward to reading the Rasking even more now.
yeah, I'll try to go. Good luck for the rest of the live. Thank you. Just dropping in to say hi and leave a like before I head to work. Oh, have a
Hi.
nice time at work. I don't know if anybody has a nice time at work. I don't know what you do as a job and if you
Hopefully your
like it,
day
but
is a good one.
thanks for dropping by, Danny. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this so far. I did write down Tolkien vibe because that's one thing I heard. I heard that it was sort of a riffed off of a lot of Tolkienisms, and I definitely feel the Tolkien vibe already in the first pages. So
That's fair.
that is my first impression, I guess, going in. Do we want to do a longer sprint?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I didn't really have time in 10 minutes. You don't really have time to get into it, but I was also trying to take some notes. So.
Yeah.
20 or 25 would be no preference.
I don't mind.
No preference.
Okay, I think we'll do 20 then. There we go. I'm using Anya's timer because it's pretty.
It's pretty.
Okay, second sprint. If I mean, I could make banners, but I'm not going to, guys. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. That was the second sprint. How are we doing?
Yeah, good. I think I'm actually paying more attention to the bad bits now that I'm taking notes and not just blaming myself.
Is Crystal muted?
I always forget to push the button.
Yeah, I wondered if I forgot too because it was so quiet at first.
No, I was kind of having a bit of a giggle because in the prologue, it like starts describing fire, and my brain goes, Lion King 2, right over there.
Oh.
So I'm just kind of like sitting here giggling. And my cat decided she wanted to read the book too, so she jumped up and tried to say hi, and then
I
beat my head
saw
back.
that you got a little pet interruption. I also got a pet interruption. So
Oh, I want the pet interruption. Hold
you
on.
have your dinos, don't you, Marta?
There they are.
Now they can keep me company.
So cute. Katie saying, "Oh, definitely pulled from Tolkien." I've also seen a lot of comparisons to Star Wars and how it's essentially Dragon Star Wars. Funny you should say that because in my preconceived notions going in, I wrote basic hero's journey formula. So I did write that as one of my preconceived notions. Hello, what do we have here? For me, the categories are more about how mature the content is than how old the protagonists are. So a high fantasy with lots of blood and death and a 16-year-old MC is still adult. Yeah, I think the age of the protagonist really matters in YA, but in adult and middle grade, it's a little bit more of a no man's land. Because like you can have an adult protagonist in middle grade, like The Hobbit is middle grade, but Bilbo's an adult. And same with adult works. You can have child characters in adult works.
Yeah, I like that perspective. That's cool.
But for YA, the protagonist age matters. I just saw that it said Eragon is 15. So that would be young for today's standard for YA. 15 is kind of the minimum for YA today, I would say.
So they're like usually between like 16 and 18 in like some of the stuff that is now-ish.
Yeah, I think today they're always pushing YA a little bit older. Even 19, I think you can get away with today.
I think they use
but it is quite a long series, so like I guess if the character grows.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, in my YA Witch series, I start her also at 15 for that same reason. so
that ends up posing a question for me though, is like, okay, well, here's the series. It's like you start at 15 and it progressively goes through the series and the character's age and all that. So it's like, does your classification change as the story progresses, or is it keeping in the same category as your first? You know what I mean?
Keeps in the same category because they have to shelve the series together. That's why like Harry Potter will be always shelved middle grade because you can't split it up partway through the series.
Yeah.
So Puppy, yes, my dog made an appearance. Normally he's sleeping when I stream, but at this time of day he's like, "Where's my dinner?"
Need me here, man.
I'll finish this chapter. Growth lifestyle. Finished the prologue in chapter 1, but was also looking at all the pets.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still on chapter 1 because I also stopped and took some notes.
I was trying to take notes, and then she showed up.
Yeah, distractions. Yeah, but that is definitely something interesting, the category thing, because I feel like, yeah, that's something that's changing the distinctions over time. So something to really keep in mind.
Yeah.
So I thought this was middle grade, but apparently it is YA. So I don't know why I thought that. So
dragons? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I was gonna say maybe the cover, but the cover is just a dragon. So
yeah.
But I don't know anything about the plot other than that I heard that it was kind of basic hero's journey. So I just had a question on the tip of my tongue, and I totally forgot what it was.
Oh no. Sounds
Are
like...
you guys having any thoughts about the reread or?
There's been a couple descriptions that I've hit where it's kind of like raised my eyebrow just a bit. I'm like, describing thing A with a description that's usually not for thing A kind of makes me stop because it doesn't make sense in my brains.
Yeah, there definitely seems to be a distinct writing style, which I did hear that the prose might be a little bit purpley, and I can see why people would say that. But
I mean,
it doesn't seem too over the top. I mean, it seems pretty standard, I would say, for high fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, so far I'm enjoying it, but it's like hardened silk. Those two words don't fit together for me.
An oxymoron.
Like, wait a second. Like, I know what you're trying to say, but
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because I like we said, I know the author was a teenager when he wrote this, so something to keep in mind.
Yep.
Make all of us feel very bad that we don't have published novels.
Yeah, I definitely saw during the first chapter and stuff like, oh yeah, I can tell he's a teenager, and then by chapter 2, I'm like, I can never write this well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't write like this, but I don't write this type of high fantasy, so I don't know.
Yeah, my high fantasy is a little lower. Mostly because I'm very intimidated by writing high fantasy, and I'm trying to write high fantasy, and I'm terrified. So it's a thing.
I write high fantasy, but not really that. Not that Tolkien medieval Europe high fantasy. More just otherworld high fantasy.
I call it smelting pot fantasy because it's like kind of medieval, but then I throw like gothic, and then I throw like other, like I just throw it all into the pot and just hope for the best. I'm going to confuse everyone if I ever publish this narrative.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, innovation, twisting things up, because like apparently that's one thing that this book is criticized for, the fact that it stays too much by sort of the classic standards. So yeah, you can't win, you can't lose, or
Yeah.
you can only lose. Whatever. Anya says, like it so far? Yeah, I don't have any complaints so far yet either, to be fair. But I'm just at the beginning, so. Haha, exactly. It was also published by his parents' publishing company. Oh, I didn't know that. Writing that down to look up.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I did not know that. Gonna look that up. What book are you reading? Oh, I do have a banner. Ha ha ha. I have one for this. We are reading Eragon. So that is the book club pick for the Nostalgia Train. If you want to join the Discord, you can. I also have an Instagram for this bad boy.
Yikes.
So actually anybody can join. It is mostly, the idea of it is to be a book club for writers to sort of reread these middle grade and YA super hits of the past.
Yeah.
And dissect them in our writerly way. And to see how the nostalgia affects that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I think some of these are going to be a little bit more satirical. Because like the whole thing, you know, what inspired this was talking about Warrior Cats on the Troublemaker stream. Since I owned the book and it was on my TBR, I didn't realize that other people had like nostalgia for that book. So when people started talking about it, I was like, oh, people actually read this? This was actually a big thing? I just picked it up at Goodwill, so...
Yeah.
So actually, the thing is, anybody who wants to join the book club can. And I don't want it to just be like the Violet Show. So if people want to also host more reading streams on their own channels, totally cool. And as I was saying to Marta and Crystal before we started, ideally, I would like that we're doing more than one book at the same time. If people want to continue on an inheritance cycle, or having, I think some of the middle grades that we want to read are going to be shorter, so it won't be too much of an ask. But this is a big book, kind of a big ask to ask people to read it or reread it. I'm going to put that down, but all the information is in the description. Where did I leave off? Oh, Caitlin is here. Hello. I won't be reading, but playing Skyrim.
Yes.
Here to hang out. Yeah, that's why like on my streams I don't want to like push the productivity, like how much did you write, how much did you read, because I just use these for socializing.
I'm here for it.
I usually only read about the author of a book after I have read the book, and I avoid any reviews before finishing it. Yeah, sometimes 100%. I don't even read the back cover copy blurb before going in.
Yeah, I don't want like opinions to like, because if I read the review too early, I'll be looking for that thing that was in the review and it spoils just like bad taste in mouth kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's like the thing about the book club, because since these are like popular mega hits, yeah, there's some things known. That's why I was able to write sort of a list of just things I've heard, but I didn't do any research myself because I also didn't want to be too tainted. Oh my God. No, oh God, not oh my God. I cannot believe we're going to read Warrior Cats at some point. I cannot promise to be unbiased during that one. Yeah, actually, I looked, my local library has like all the Warrior Cat spin-offs. They have like all the books, which is a good point for anybody who wants to be in the book club. Libraries have a lot of these mega hits. My library had several of the books that I wanted, like The Golden Compass and Hunger Games, all those things. Like libraries usually carry these big names. So
I'm gonna have to look into it because I've never heard of Warrior Cats before.
Yeah, see, I had heard of it, but I guess I didn't realize it was, I don't know when it was published. I have to look that up. I didn't realize it was like a thing of our generation, or I don't know how old everybody is. I think I was too old for it. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't, and I just missed it. I'll skip Eragon because I reread it last year, but I'll be joining on the next pick. That's actually a good point, Caitlin, that I wanted to bring up. What's great about the Nostalgia Club is that people could join in the live discussions in the chat and watch who've read it already and already have those opinions if they've read it and don't necessarily need to reread it. Like, I could hop in on a chat of like Hunger Games or Twilight ones that I know by heart in a chat without having to reread it. So, but I'm going to reread them. I'm definitely going to reread them when we get there. But that's the thing, I guess, if some people didn't want to commit to the reread but still wanted to join in on the discussion, also allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some picks are just not going to be for everybody. I mean, that's why it'd be cool if we could get at some point maybe 2 going at the same time or some crossover between books. I saw on the Discord people are already discussing other books they want to
that's awesome.
that they want to read. So to anybody watching or watching the replay, Discord link should be down below. If it's not working, let me know. It's also in the comments of all my videos, and it's like, yeah, anybody can share, invite people to the Discord. We're pretty open. Because yeah, these books belong to the zeitgeist. They belong to everybody, and we're all allowed to jump on the nostalgia train. I don't know. I'm trying to be professional, but I don't know how to run a book club.
That's okay.
So, should we do another sprint? How long have we been going? We've been going for almost an hour. I don't know how long you guys want to go. I didn't even ask you that.
I'm okay for like your usual 2-hour thing if that's what you had in mind, but I don't really mind, to be honest. Not doing anything else today.
I'm still kind of digging the story, so I could read a little bit more.
Right. I have D&D tonight at some point, but I mean, up until then, I'm good for probably another hour, couple hours. You know.
Okay, let's pull up the Gooptress 25-minute timer.
Yay, Gooptress!
Because she is a classic. And when Violet is hosting a stream, Gooptress will make an appearance.
Nice.
So that's how we do around here. So 25 minutes of reading, or Skyrim if you're Caitlin.
It works though, because Skyrim has dragons.
Look at the connections we're making here. This is the kind of literary analysis that we want to get to. I'm excited to where we get to the dragons, because since I just read that Writing Monsters book, it had a big thing about the dragon archetype. So I really kind of want to get into what kind of dragons these are and all that. I have no idea. I have not been tainted on any of that yet. So
Fighting
Excited.
monsters. I'm gonna make a note on that one.
So, ready? 25-minute sprint. Let's do it. Oh, and Gooper shows up around like 13 minutes, so be on the lookout, everyone. Okay, that was a 25-minute sprint. Don't forget to unmute.
Yeah. I pushed a button this time.
I wanted to just go check which chapter I was on to say like my update, and I realized there's no numbers to the chapters. They're just chapter titles.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that.
I was like, am I in chapter 2 or chapter 3? And I was like, it doesn't say.
I guess you can give us a page number instead.
Page 31.
Oh, farther than I am. I'm on page 16, but then again, somebody wanted attention really badly.
Now I'm actually getting into the story now. Now it's pulled me in. But I mean, the prologues are just notoriously kind of boring. So.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah, and I'm getting into it. Definitely.
so excited for you guys to start getting into the good bits.
I actually have a question though for you guys about writing and reading. Reading as a writer. Like when you read, do you have like your writer brain on? Because like in my mind, I'm like thinking about like, I don't know, the beat sheet or different like story dynamics. Like, oh, this is maybe foreshadowing. This is the inciting incident. This is like. Are you guys thinking about that stuff when you read normally? I mean, I know for the book club we're trying to analyze, but like if it wasn't the case, would you still be thinking like that?
100%. I'm doing that a lot. It's like, especially like the way certain sentences are flowed. I can see the lines kind of with the pins, and you know, it's all how everything's connecting. And it's just like, I mean, I do the same thing with movies, so this isn't too much different, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like they wouldn't have mentioned that if it's not important.
Yep. Like, well, they could have glazed over this and the story would have been the same. So obviously this is going to come up later since they didn't glaze over something that was very glazable.
What about you, Marta?
I do it sometimes. It depends on what time of the day I'm reading. So if I'm reading right before bed, I'm normally just like soaking up the story and not analyzing anything. Sometimes I try to analyze because I know it's good for me.
Yeah, I also think it depends a little bit on the genre because like some of like the more like fluffy YA I'm reading, there's not too much deeper to it. I mean, that's the truth, but yeah, it is what it is. Oh, same. I'm also on page 31. And Anya's on page 28, so we're all, other than Marta, we're all starting out.
Sorry, I started too early.
Well, I wanted to start on day 1, but I just didn't have the motivation, I guess. So it's good that we did the stream, otherwise I maybe would have put it off to the last minute.
Well, I wasn't sure, like, should I start now? Should I wait for the stream? Should I start now? Yeah, I'll wait for the stream. I don't want to get
thought I was going to start yesterday, and then I thought I was going to start this morning. Nope.
Yeah, I read really, really slowly, so I knew I had to start early to get it done by May, like end of May.
Yeah, I was worried about like starting with this one with it being so big. That was my concern. Like, oh, is a month notice enough? But I realized for the first pick of the book club and the book club being brand new, it's going to be a small group of us any way you spin it. So I think it was an okay one to start with. So
Definitely.
Because I know Katie said she was excited for Warrior Cats, but I think her and I are the only ones excited for that. I think that's going to be the hardest thing is like agreeing on which books to do. Again, because of that like nostalgia bias of people wanting to read their favorites again.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to do like multiple books going on at one go, and like some people might want to read both of the books, and then like how to schedule all that might be a bit tricky.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like having a bigger book and a smaller book paired together. Like you couldn't pair like what's the second book in the Inheritance cycle called? I don't even know. Look it up. Is it the green one?
I think it's the green one.
Is it Eldest or is it Brisinker? I don't know what order
save
they're
us.
Yeah.
Inheritance cycle.
in.
Eldest. Katie Ann's got us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what was I just gonna say? Yeah, so if some people wanted to people are popping up in the comments. Sorry, there's a delay. A stream is a great motivation to read. Yeah, actually, a lot of times during writing live streams, I'm reading a lot of the time. And I never write in the comments that I'm reading because then people are going to ask, "What are you reading?" And I'm like, "Mind your own business. I'm reading what I want to read."
My book. That sounds like a good idea though, because like when we do like the writing streams and stuff, it's like sometimes I'm just not into writing, so it's like reading sounds like a better idea than just scanning Facebook.
Yeah, I find that too a lot of times with writing streams, unless like I have it scheduled and really planned out that that's my time to write. And a lot of times I'm watching streams on my phone. Like I don't usually have the desktop for myself. Um, and I write on my phone, so I can't have the stream up and be writing at the same time.
How do you write on your phone? That's insane.
Yeah, because I know it sounds weird. It's because I have my speech to text app on my phone.
Oh, okay.
So
That
like
makes sense.
I'm always worried when they watch my vlogs and like I do the clips of me writing, I'm just talking to my phone. I'm like, people have no idea what I'm doing, I guess. Maybe start planning out months now, creating the schedule for the rest of the year or like a poll or something. I was actually thinking about doing something like that on Instagram. I want to also incorporate Instagram. That's why I made an Instagram for it. Like ask people their favorites or do like not like a monthly challenge, like because I wouldn't want to do like a monthly challenge for Eragon, but maybe like a YA middle grade favorites, like like those post a picture every day or in the those things on Instagram. I also don't know how to do Instagram. I don't know how to do any of those things, but I'm trying. So, you got to start somewhere, right? Yeah, I think that's going to be because I'm not a planner in general. I'm not a planner. So.
Yeah, I think knowing what we're gonna read for the entire rest of the year might be a bit of a step up for me.
Yeah, because that's the thing, because I can't say like the ones that I haven't read yet. Like, what if I really want to continue on in the inheritance cycle? And those are kind of big books to commit to every month.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I know right now, I can tell you right now, when we get to the Hunger Games, I want to read the whole trilogy. So, or like Cirque du Freak, I also want to read all those, but those are small books. Those are tiny books.
They're only about like that thin thick tops.
Yeah, those are, and they're middle grade. They're super quick reads, so that's not asking that much, even though there's 12 of them.
Yeah,
12 of those is one of these. No, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but still.
I mean, it could be like the Harry Potter, where it's like it starts off like that thin, and by the end of the series, it's just like massive.
Yeah, growing with time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work with the book club. If we could have two going at once, or how we're planning them in advance. I gotta know. I'm hoping that over time people will want to be more involved in helping me out in planning this stuff. Or people who are good at planning, because I'm not great at it.
I'm a new. I've never planned until like recently, so I'd be like.
Yeah,
I've got no idea what I'm doing, but happy to help with anything I can.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I haven't even been that big of a reader until like recently. Like I really got now big into reading this year, because before that I was only reading like 1 or 2 books every month, and now I'm reading like 7 or 8 books every month.
Dang, that's awesome.
But yeah, so I've only started like getting really serious about reading again this year. So I don't know. It's like I said, I think it's a lot to ask somebody to reread like a thick book like this if you're not like an avid reader.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Like I read every once in a while, but I'm watching more movies and TV or like playing video games than I am reading. And it's like, no, I want to get back into reading, and then I start, and I'm like, oh, I could be doing this. Like, no, I have a rough time sticking with reading. I really do.
Yeah, I feel a lot of guilt when I read. Like reading should be like a fun, relaxing escape. Yeah. But for me, every time I'm reading, I'm like, I could be cleaning, I could be writing, I could be, like, yeah, I feel guilty.
I feel the same way. Like I should be writing instead of reading. I should be writing because writing is also a thing. I feel it. I feel it so much.
Yeah, also like rereading a book you've already read or something like this, an older book. I'm like, no, I should be reading something new, something in my genre that I write in, or all those little things. And it's like, we shouldn't feel guilty for this. That's why I wanted to do the book club, because it's like, oh, when you're doing it for something and you have like accountability, then it feels like worthwhile to put time into it. Oh, Caitlin's saying, maybe once you guys get to Brigsner, I'll jump in.
I
The third book.
I don't know. I have no idea.
think it's part of
Yeah,
one of
book
the other
3.
ones.
It's one of these. Okay. I have no idea how to pronounce that. But halfway through, I DNF'd. Ooh. Yeah. Oh. People were suggesting books in the Discord that I've never heard of, and I need to Google them. I need to look them up.
I'm writing a list now.
I like when I was trying to do the announcement for the book club, I was like trying to Google lists like most popular middle grades and YA of all time. Like I was like searching like all these lists to pull things up. But then again, it came back to the category question, like what technically falls into those categories. And also, where do I draw the line for like the nostalgia factor? Like in my head, I'm thinking like anything before 2013. I think anything after is too new because I still want them to be older.
That makes sense.
To have the nostalgia factor, but I don't know. I didn't double check all the publishing dates on the ones that I suggested or threw up there. So, or like I said, or even check what's middle grade and YA because I thought this was middle grade. Oops.
Yep. Well, it's like one of my favorite shows. One of the things they like saying is your fun is not wrong. So I think whatever you feel like doing, whatever we feel like doing, I don't think there's gonna be anything wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but yeah, I think. Yeah, do you guys think that we need to have it planned out in advance, or do you think it's too lofty to have 2 books going at once? Because I feel like, yeah, some people are going to want to read different things. Like, I don't want to be like, hey, guys, we're reading Warrior Cats, and everybody who doesn't want to do it be out, and like, okay, maybe people wanted to be reading, I don't know, The Hunger Games or something a little more popular.
Yeah, I think 2 books at the same time is a good plan. As long as they're like bigger and smaller books as well, I think that would work better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it could be manageable if we just stagger the live stream discussions. So like maybe they would be not like technically for 1 month, but sort of a 1 month period, but not falling within a month.
Yeah, that
like
makes sense.
The 15th, one show on the 15th, one show on the 30th, kind of a thing.
Yeah, like
or we could have both on the same day at the same time and have people compete against each other.
The Hunger Games of stream.
Yikes.
Instead of the nostalgia train, I should have had it been like Hunger Game themed. The whole book club. The districts and all that. It would have been something, but
That'd be amazing.
I don't know. I think there's a lot that could. I mean, I'm sure like book clubs like this already exist. That was like my insecurity, like creating this. Like, I'm sure this book club already exists, like in the booktube book world. But I really wanted it to be specific to
one.
Yeah, to be specific to writers. So
what if it still exists? This is ours.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird because like on YouTube, BookTube is so big, where AuthorTube is so small and niche. I actually always get really upset when I'm watching like smaller YouTube channels and then like the recommended that comes up afterwards. It's always like either the big AuthorTubers or BookTubers, that all have tens of thousands of subscribers. I was like, algorithm, I'm watching all these tiny AuthorTube channels. Please recommend me more tiny AuthorTube channels. Stop recommending me like big ones and big BookTube channels.
Yep, YouTube is notorious for pushing all the big stuff and leaving the small guys to fend for themselves. It's sad panda.
On this account, on my Writing Violet account, I only follow Bookish and AuthorTube stuff. And when they recommend me stuff that's not, I click not interested. Do not show me this channel. Do not recommend this to me. Like I'm very strong with that, and also with the like button and liking everybody's videos that I like. Because that damn algorithm.
Yeah, it's an evil robot.
2 books is a great idea. Also, if you don't have that much time to read the longer novels. Yeah, but then what was I going to say? But I mean, also live streams, you can watch them later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I know like Laura who does the Let's Talk Craft book club, I read some of those craft books after they've done the live shows and I go back and then watch their live streams of what they thought. So
I'm always watching them late. It's hard for me to catch them live, especially with all like the different time zones of different author tubers and stuff like that. It's like I kind of have to watch them after the fact.
yeah. I'm not big on. I haven't watched a lot of replays, but sometimes I do. Maybe one middle grade and one YA at the same time. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think that'll be the way to go. Some of the middle grades should be pretty easy reads. So I think that's true. It just gets complicated with the series if we want to continue a series or not. I also kind of
Yeah.
wanted to have something on the Discord, like that's why I made like the Eragon channel, like that we could talk about it while we're reading. But I was like, how do we do that without spoilers? And I'm not really sure.
Yeah, the spoiler part's a little tricky because it's like you kind of like get tempted to be like, yeah, I totally got to this section. I want to talk about this section, but it's like, what if somebody else hasn't got that far yet?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. And I was also now thinking about that. Oh, when we get to the live show, people who have read the whole series are going to have to hold their tongue a little bit to be like, wait, this is foreshadowing for later.
Yep.
But they have to be like,
you start waving your hands, jumping up and down. I know, like sometimes I do that with gaming streams. I'm like, I just realized this thing. Hey.
yeah. Especially when you're rereading something and you didn't notice, it's probably going to happen. You didn't notice the first time you read the series, but now when you're rereading it, oh my gosh, it was there the whole time.
Yeah, so many of the notes that I've been writing down are like, okay, this is really interesting. I'm gonna write it down, but I'm not actually allowed to say it during the live stream because this is a spoiler and this is a spoiler.
But what's even maybe a little more interesting than a foreshadowing when rereading is maybe finding plot holes while rereading. That's, I think, also just as fun.
Yeah.
To point out, oh, they definitely didn't plan that thing that's coming later in the series yet because this would have been done differently.
Wait, is this going? Like, yeah, I kind of want to keep a list of like, is this going to be mentioned? ?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Participating in live chats are more fun though, yeah. And I think it's motivating then to get it done by a certain date to do the live. So
Definitely.
At least I feel that way. Oh my gosh, it's already an hour and 40 minutes we've been streaming.
Oh wow.
So should we do one more dino timer and then outros?
Sure. We love your timer, darling. We just love your timer.
Yep. It is the new It Girl intro outro timer. Warm up and cool down. Okay, let's one last 10-minute sprint. What do I have to click out? Okay, ready? go, dinos go. Yeah, yeah.
Bye, dinos.
Woohoo, we did it. Yeah, yeah.
Yay.
Oh, I'm getting tired. So
It's like reading is like the good kind of exhausting where it's like I need a break, but I kind of want to read more, but night.
yeah, reading really puts me to sleep, and a lot of times I'm reading on the e-reader, and if I fall asleep with it in my hand, and like if I touch the screen, I like skip a bunch of pages. I'm like,
Oh
No.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep with that this morning reading. So that's why I like audiobooks, because then I stay awake, because I can be moving.
no! Mm.
So how are we feeling with the reading and the nostalgia?
Definitely, because
Definitely
like this is
enjoying it.
part of what I read before. I'm definitely enjoying it. Oh.
I am liking it too, I gotta say. No, I'm kind of getting into it. I can see the hype. I can see why it was popular, because
Definitely.
the beginning definitely has that kind of classic setup. It pulls you in.
I think after I finish Eragon, I might rewatch the movie just to kind of see where everything kind of lines up.
I was actually going to ask that if people were planning on watching the movie before the live discussion, if we want to talk about it and include it in the discussion, or if it should just be its own thing. Because I'm not sure, since I haven't seen it and I haven't read this, I don't know if it's a faithful adaptation.
There's arguments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's a conversation all on its own. Maybe I will ask in the Discord, see what people say.
Yeah, why not?
I'm up for it, but I think I've watched the movie so many times I know it by heart, so I'm not sure like rewatching it would bring me anything anymore.
That's a good point. Yeah,
I
that's a
think
really
I've only
good
watched
point.
it like twice, so I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, actually, it's hard to say, because so many of I feel like the middle grade books have sort of infamous adaptations, or middle grade YA books have, because I know people have a lot of feelings about Percy Jackson. I have not read or watched that one either. And what's the other one that people had feelings about? I know Mortal Instruments, people had feelings about that.
Yep. Artemis Fowl was another one that made people lose their ever-loving minds.
That is another one, again, that I'm not familiar with. I'm not familiar with any of these, but I am, of course, with Cirque du Freak, and I loathed that movie. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that movie. I have opinions.
Me too. Really strong ones, really negative ones about the casting decisions and the story changes, and so bad.
Cough, cough, Will Ferrell. Cough, cough.
Oh my god. Well, everything, so bad. So bad.
That can be like its own like.
Yeah. The name of the Smith was funny. Horse is typically a German name, so reading in a fantasy novel was strange. Yeah, I'm actually reading the German translation, which I realized maybe the page counts don't add up to. Maybe that's why it's so much thicker. But I'm going to get the audiobook in English just to cross all my T's and check all my I's. I don't get confused, because when I reread the Hunger Games, I want to read it in English, because I also originally read it in German, and it kind of confused me. If some names got changed or something. Hello, just joined. Oh, we actually, I think, was our last reading sprint. But if you want more information on the book club and what we're doing, it's linked down below. We are reading Eragon for the book club. Did I put that in the description? I have no idea what I did in the description. I filled that out a couple days ago. So far, really enjoying it. Yeah, I have to say, I'm enjoying it too, coming in, never having read it. I'm surprised. Inkheart too.
Can we read Inkheart?
I haven't read Inkheart, but I have seen the movie. So I think I need to add that to my read list.
The book is a lot better.
Maybe I should make a movie adaptation channel in the Discord, because I feel like there's so many of these that I'm not familiar with, that, or I've heard of the movie, didn't know was based on a book, or all that. The Series of Unfortunate Events show was great. I loved that they had the same atmosphere. Yeah, okay. Is a Series of Unfortunate Events, is that middle grade? Because I put it on the list of potential reads for the book club, but I actually don't know. Is it middle grade or is it chapter book? I have no idea.
I've never actually read them. I watched the movie with Jim Carrey, and then I watched the pilot episode of the show with Neil Patrick Harris. It's another one of those things I've never read.
Yeah, I haven't read it either. I did watch the Jim Carrey movie when it came out. I don't know what year that came out, which that was a million years ago. So I can't even tell you what happened in the plot. That was so long ago. So I will look. I got to look all these up. I got a lot to do. But oh, it's a very dark middle grade. Okay, see, I thought it might be even younger than middle grade. Okay, but if it's a dark middle grade, but that's also a series. Okay, a series of unfortunate events, but it's also a book series with a lot of books. But I think they're also pretty short.
Yeah,
So
I think they're
could
like start to freak range in terms of thickness. I think.
It was on my list. Maybe that would also be the way to go. Have constantly a series going and standalones going.
Or maybe half.
So, because there are also several like middle grade standalones that like Holes was one that I people had showed interest about.
I remember that I read that in English class, like when I was like teeny.
What?
Mm-hmm. It was like I think it was like grade 6. That was one of our read lists.
Oh, that's
Dating
so cool.
myself just a little.
Oh, I think it's a great book, and that is actually a book that has a great adaptation. When you talk about good adaptations, I think Holes got an amazing movie adaptation. Gold Star adaptation for that, where so many YA middle grade book adaptations get kind of get the short end of the stick. We are coming right up at the 2-hour mark, so I think we can go ahead and do our outros. So, Marta, would you like to start?
Okay, just reintroduce myself, I guess.
Yeah, reintroduce yourself. I guess your channel, social medias, and if you want to plug anything.
Yeah, you can find me on the Marta and Pixel on the most places. I have an AuthorTube and art channel, and I write books sometimes. None of them are published.
Yeah, because both you and Crystal are kind of hybrid AuthorTube channels, having different content, which I think is super cool. Actually, I think we should be promoting more of the hybrid content in our community.
I always feel so guilty for messing up people's recommended, because I know you don't like getting like non-AuthorTube stuff recommended to you.
No, I like bookish, like book related. So it's like, I don't want channels that are like completely something else. But if it's book related or writing related, then I'm cool with it. Actually, I think that's actually super cool.
Yeah, I gotta put more AuthorTube stuff up. I really do. I'm learning AuthorTube stuff still.
Crystal.
I'm Crystal. My channel is Crystal's Cluster. I make a cluster of content ranging from gameplay, let's plays, and my cat stuck in a plastic bag. I'm writing and AuthorTube content, occasionally D&D storytime content where my character talks about her adventures with our group. You can find me at Crystal C Gaming on Instagram, and I exist.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you guys could join me. This was so much fun.
Aww,
I am obviously Violet. My channel is Writing Violet. I'm also Writing Violet on Instagram. I do writing vlogs, experiments, challenges, and sometimes craft book reviews. And also, the Nostalgia Train has its own Instagram and Discord that anybody can join. There should be all the information down below. If it's not, or if it's not working, let me know. I think it's also in like every single one of my videos description box. I have all this stuff. So, and I should also have the links for my lovely co-hosts down there as well. So if you want to jump aboard the Nostalgia Train, you're welcome. I don't know. I don't know how to do things. And that is it for this one.
Thank you for hosting.